All right. Good evening and welcome to Scotty Talks About. This is weird because I'm in the new studio. So welcome everybody to the new studio. And one of my dear friends is with me tonight, and she's the first in the new studio. So very excited to have Cheryl Lynn Carter with me tonight. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. How was your Christmas?
I was kind of busy. I work. I'm an essential worker, so I was working. But otherwise, it was good.
Yep, I know Terry does that too. Terry does senior helping. You know, she helps all the people, and she was there too. So yeah, it was. They were very busy this year. But by the way, everybody, I just want to say hi again. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. And Cheryl, do you know what this says?
Noel.
Yeah, most people don't. Most people always say no losers. But I always wear this around all the time. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the show tonight. So, and this is very different to the studio here because before I used to always have to go on my cell phone to look, and actually on here it shows me the messages from the chat room too, or the Facebook page. So kind of cool, very cool. Mm-hmm. So welcome to the show. Scotty Talks About. It's fun. New year, first time with the show. Let everybody know who you are. We've known each other for years.
Yeah.
I mean, for years.
I'm a psychic medium, a remote viewer, paranormal investigator, an author, a writer.
Ufologist.
Just a jack of all trades.
Ufologist.
Yeah, ufologist, yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing for me talking and saying things right. You know, I always say them wrong, so.
That's a hard word to say, really. Yeah.
It is. Try to say that fast. Ufologist.
Yeah.
Ufologist. That's hard to do. So out of all of them, I know that you're a psychic medium too, but all the ones, do you have one that's your favorite, or are you just happy to be a jack of all trades?
I'm glad I can do it all. It's kind of whatever hits the mood at the time.
Okay.
It's not you're doing all of them at once. Nobody can do all those things at once, but whatever's hitting my fancy at the time, yeah.
Right. I know, because that's the same with me. I mean, I do most of it. I'm not a ufologist, though. I don't do that, and I haven't written books yet, so I'm not there yet either. But yeah, but you tend to put all of it together, though. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, we use it all in all of our work. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's all interconnected in one way or another. Yeah.
Right. So how'd you ever know that you were, a psychic medium? And when did you come out?
Probably since I was 4 years old, except we didn't know those words back then, because that's the first time I saw my first spirit.
Okay.
And I would see, hear things all the time. Well, the first one, I was visiting with my grandma at my aunt's farm. And I was sleeping upstairs, and everybody got up in the morning. I'm still upstairs, so I woke up, and I wanted to go sneak around into this other room where she had storage things just to see what she had in the boxes and things. So I went in there, and I'm looking through the trunks, and I just see clothes. And I look behind this one trunk, and there's a little boy about my age. And I know, why is there a little boy here? And when I got closer, I noticed I could see through him. And they reached out his hand to me, and it was cold, and I just ran down the stairs, and I didn't tell anybody about that because I didn't know what happened. I had no idea what just happened.
So were you freaked out?
But I kind of, yeah. But what was I going to say? There's some little boy that I can see through upstairs. Yeah. And I would see things and hear things and know things all the time growing up, and I thought everybody could do that.
Right. I mean, that's the same thing as me. And we were about the same time. I'm not going to reveal your age, but we were about the same time in history, seeing spirits like that. And I thought everybody saw them. I would always say, hey, so don't you see this? Don't you? And everyone would make fun of me. And then
did you hear that? Or they think, well, how did you know that? I don't know. I just know that.
And how did you know my grandpa died?
Yeah.
Because he came to my room this night and we talked.
How do you know what my grandpa looks like? He's been dead 10 years. Well, he's standing right there. What Yeah, so then you tend to be quiet then because people are calling you weird. You're not weird, but
no. Did you shut it off? Because I did after many years. I shut it off and until Well, I guess until I did it till I was about 10, 11, and then I shut it off until I was about 18, 19. I really didn't spend a lot of time, in that age. So the 70s, I didn't spend a lot of time.
Well, when you're in high school, you got other things on your mind. You're not really thinking about this a lot. I didn't turn it off, but I wasn't thinking about it a lot either till probably my senior year.
Yeah. And
so I met another girl that she started talking about these things, and I said, "Oh, I'm not the only one."
I did it. I started seeing it in college again. Everyone who watches the show has heard that. I walked in the door. There was a lady standing there. When she wasn't standing there, she was floating there. And I screamed and yelled, and I told all the other kids in the class, because I was at the University of Wisconsin at Oshkosh in college. And I saw the spirit again standing, and I screamed. But now all of a sudden I got dates. Before I didn't get any dates. Now
you're cool. That's it. Yeah. I know. Now I'm the cool kid. I know. Nobody want to have anything to do with me. Now I'm the cool kid. I know.
But that was the funny thing, and I haven't said it on the show, but that was the funny thing back then, is because I was paying my way through school by working at Six Flags in Gurnee, Illinois. And so Six Flags Chicago, or Great America. And so we were working there, and I worked with a guy that later in life became on TV and is really a pretty big ghost hunter himself, Mr. Patrick Burns. So Patrick and I actually worked, Patrick Burns and I worked there together on the same ride, and we used to watch Ghostbusters together. And I would call him Egon Spengler because he looks like him. And I always say, "Patrick, say it." He goes, "I collect spores, molds, and fungus." He still does today. So, you still say it to Patrick, say it. He'll know that I'm making you say it. So, but yeah, so it, and then he got into the field because he found out spirits weren't crazy, or evil, and that's the same thing as me today,
Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of people still tell me that today. Why are you investigating all these evil spirits and stuff? And I said, they're not evil. Why do you think that? They're just people. You watch too much TV.
That's it.
Too much of the D word and stuff. No, I go, they're not evil.
What's funny is we usually bring that up later in the show. I'd like to bring that up and talk about it. Since you brought the D word up, let's go down there. So what's your opinion? What's your opinion of the D word? So everybody at home or in the chat room that's watching, which I'm not even watching, it means demon. So what do you think?
I've never met a demon. People that say they see demons all the time. I don't want to see one.
No.
I sure don't want to see one. But when I go somewhere and somebody says there's something really evil down the basement or something really evil in that room, and I says, okay, that's where I'm going first, and they look at me like I'm nuts. And I said, because I know there's nothing evil there, I go, there's somebody that's really sad or they're lost and they need somebody to talk to them. I said, that's all it is. I said, there's nothing evil in there.
Nope, I agree with you, and I've seen you, and I've seen you do that at investigations. You head right for it.
Yeah, because that's the spirit that needs help. It is. That's the one that needs help.
Yeah, and so I have the same belief as you. I agree 100%. But see, I just don't believe there is demons. I believe that humans make their own happiness and unhappiness.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah.
And I think that unhappiness is portrayed as a demon because it's lower energies, it's a lower vibration, and the spirits of the lower vibrations, or what I call ghosts, are work with you. And so, just so you know, my definition, a spirit is somebody that's crossed all the way over.
Right.
And a ghost is someone stuck here on earth.
Right.
So you're still dead, but you haven't gone to heaven, so you're a ghost.
Yeah.
And I think that, and the ghosts can play those type of, games with you because they still have earth emotions. They still have the hate, the frustrations and stuff. And as a psychic medium, and I know you do this too, we have to ask everybody all the time. So if you say it's really a painful thing, is it really painful, or where on the spectrum of evil is it? Because anger can be evil. Frustration can feel evil.
That's how I keep trying to explain to people, yes. I said, why do you think there's something evil in this room? It's real heavy. I said, heavy? You said heavy. Sadness is a heavy feeling, or anger can be a heavy feeling. I go, there, think about this, It's exactly.
It's funny. Jen in the chat room says she goes there too. First place. Right to the, to the rooms where everyone
because that's the place that the spirit is waiting for somebody to come help them, because everybody's been avoiding them.
Correct. Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think the only other issue that I have too is sometimes we want to make it more than what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that everybody does this, so I'm not calling you out there in the chat room or anything. You know what I mean? But a lot of times people think that it has to be so scary for people to accept it or understand it or investigate it, and you really don't.
No.
We need to find out. We need to find out what that spirit is, why they're there, and what do they need, because they need help too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're there for the homeowner because the homeowner's having a lot of issues. Maybe they're there for the business owner. Maybe they're there for themselves. But why are they there? Nobody wants to get into that. Everybody just wants to get an EVP of get out.
I've only got that one time. I've only got get out one time. One time. I had a spirit at Bobby Mackey say F you to me a couple times. Oh, no.
One I could hear in my ears, one they caught on the EVP, and one they caught on the spirit box. So we had it 3 times. Jeez. Okay, you're saying it. I'm not going, but hey, thanks anyway.
Did you see the man in the room down in the basement that was really, really sad?
No, I didn't.
Down by the dressing rooms.
Yep, I was with the guy that was upstairs in the apartment, and then also the guy by the mechanical bull.
Because there was a room down in the basement. It's like they have a bunch of tools and stuff in it, and somebody says, "Don't go in there. There's something evil in there." I says, "All right, gotta go." And it was just a guy in there that was really sad, and I guess he was. When they were gambling, he got shot because they thought he was cheating, and he goes, "I wasn't cheating. I wasn't cheating." And that's why he was still there. He wanted somebody to know I wasn't cheating. Wow. They killed me, but I wasn't cheating.
That's crazy. But you see, that's it. So that spirit needed you to help him.
Exactly.
To validate, or that ghost needed you. So maybe he's a spirit now. Maybe that's why I didn't see him. But I didn't feel anything in the basement. So all that portal to hell and demons.
Yeah, there's no portal to hell, no.
No, and there's no demons in the basement.
No, but you know what we did? We did something really funny there. There was 5 of us girls that went down there, and when we pulled up in the parking lot, these 2 guys in a pickup truck parked way out at the end of the parking lot, and they're just sitting there. They're passing their beer back and forth and their little whatever that they're smoking. And they just kept staying there all night. And we'd come out for a break and they go, "What you girls doing? Catching them ghosties in there?" And we go, "Yeah, you want to join us?" "No, that's okay." And they stayed in the truck all night watching us. They're 2 young guys. So we're getting ready to leave, and we come up with this idea. We said, "All right, let's 2 of us go down the basement, and we'll start running, going, run, help us. They're after us." And so we start running out of the basement. And then my other friend was filming it. And I forgot that the floor was on an incline. I almost fell flat on my face by the time I hit the door. And the door burst open. My friend's going, run, they're after us. And I'm going, they came up from the portal of hell. And the guys in the truck are just sitting there. They're probably drunk by then. They're just sitting there. And I said, "Oh." We were waiting for them to tear out of the parking lot. Yeah. But that was fun.
So everybody at home that's watching and stuff, if you're on Facebook watching it, please feel free to ask Cheryl and I questions, because I'll pop them up underneath, and we can continue with the discussion there too. So we're just talking about Bobby Mackey's Music World in Kentucky. So, and then Jen says, "What blows her mind is when others often tell someone that they have an evil attachment." I agree. Right. No, it's the same thing. And in some ways, that's psychic mediums that want more money, because then they're going to say, "Well, let's come into your house and sage and do all this stuff to get rid of it." when 9 times out of 10 it's not attached to you anyway. I mean, because you were in the Booth Brothers movie, The Attachments.
Mm-hmm. It's coming out soon.
I know. I can't wait to see it.
It took them 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening in the 2 years to them. So
yeah, well, they kept changing hands in the the companies and film companies, and I says, "Oh, come on, guys."
Yeah, so that's out there. So I mean, but
January they said, yeah.
But how many attachments? I mean, yeah, we've all had people that have had attachments.
Sure.
But is it a major thing like most people say, or is it a minor thing? What do you think on that?
Well, like I was talking when they interviewed me for that film, I had a spirit follow me home, which can happen, but it wasn't a bad spirit. It was a place that I went to quite a lot, and he was down the basement, and again, nobody wanted to talk to him because they said he was evil, but he was sad, and I kind of befriended him. You got to watch what you do.
Right.
So I kind of befriended this guy. He would hug me when I would come there. He would let me take his photo. Nobody else could get a photo of him. And I always, before when I leave, I always say, I had a great time, but nobody can follow me home. I say that everywhere I go. I didn't say it that night because somebody was talking to me. He followed me home. Just because he liked me, but you can't, so that was not an attachment, but he was in my house. Right.
It's still, it's still an attachment. He came to you.
Right. And I had to sit down and talk to him and say, you got to go back. I'll come back and visit you, but you can't stay here.
Right. Right. I had a friend that I used to do radio with, and he went on an investigation, and there was a little boy there, and he said, "Come on home with us because you can play with me."
See? No.
And sure enough, he went home, and every night all the can opener would turn on.
See, yeah.
Playing with the can opener.
No, you don't tell him to come home. That's why we'll be investigating somebody. We'll be in a room and somebody will be talking to a spirit, and somebody will say, "Okay, we're going to another room. You can follow us." And I go, "No, you can't."
Yeah, don't follow us. Stay right where you are. So
yeah, and they look at me, and I said, "You just gave them invitation to come home with you." You said, "Oh, follow us." No, I didn't. I said, "Yeah, you did."
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and that's why we have to be careful what we do.
Of your words.
That's why I always say opening prayers and closing prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Just or intent, putting the intent.
Right.
Like we were talking at a Psychics Unite meeting. I was talking about how I always pick up a rock from the site that I'm on. I always put it in my pocket when I'm investigating. Just attaches me to the site more.
Oh.
That's what I believe. Anyway, it attaches me more to the site. But before I leave at the end of the night, I always take out the sling and say, "Okay, thank you very much for attaching me tonight, but you stay here where you belong, and I will go where I belong."
That's a good one. I like that.
Then I step off the property.
I like that, yeah.
But it's an intent. It's my intent, my visualization of my protection of, okay, spirits, make sure that those stay there, and the ones that come with me are the ones that always come with me. Let's just go.
That's like as soon as I enter someplace, I go, "Hello, I hope it's okay if we came to visit. We didn't call ahead." And people look at me like I'm nuts. And I said, "Well, do you just walk into your friend's house?" I said, "Of course, you knock on the door and stuff." I said, "You do the same thing." I said, "If you open up by doing that, now they're going to want to talk to you instead of coming in and start demanding, asking questions and all that stuff,
I know, and it's always the same questions too, and I never.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Me neither. And it's just like, why don't you start talking in a conversation with them? Hey guys, it's here tonight with us,
Yeah.
If you're here, make sure, come up to me and talk with me and let's discuss, and that's the way it makes it better. And there's so many groups that go in and start yelling.
Yeah.
Tell me who is here, knock on the walls.
Oh, I don't. I said, "Do you go to your friend's house and say, knock on the wall or move something?"
Yeah, no, you don't.
It's the same thing. This is just pretend you're visiting your friends. You got to act the same way.
Right.
If you want them to talk to you, you got to be nice.
The lower level energies that we've all encountered when we're investigating, the people that are mad and angry and that type of stuff, they will later on show more of that. And then I say it's okay to move to a level close, but never to I never go in and what do they call it? Insight, or what do you call it? What do they call it? I don't even know. Incite ghosts. I don't do that. That's not the thing. Even though they're getting mad at me, I'm going to go, sorry, that's not going to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
You need to calm the heck down, And sometimes I use swear words. Depends on how crazy that spirit
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want to be defensive to them. Yeah, because at the spirit, you don't know what they can do to you. They might have some energy to throw things at you. You don't know.
Yep. And, that's the one thing that I want to make sure everybody knows that's in the watching is the fact that the thing that hurts you the most is you. It is your reaction to spirit that does it. Because I've seen so many people step on rakes, run themselves in the doors, trip on things, fall downstairs. It's not because you were pushed. It was because you were running away.
Mm-hmm. You weren't paying attention, yeah.
You weren't paying attention to your environment. And a lot of times you investigate in pure darkness. How are you going to know what's on the floors?
You don't. It's very dangerous. Yeah.
And it's not very fun to watch, night vision camera all night, to see where you're going.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of times I investigate in at least low light. I don't like investigating all the time with night vision. Because ghosts are going to show themselves anyway.
I do a lot of investigating in the daylight. You don't have to be in the dark.
Right. Yeah. So what's your opinion on that? I mean, because you said you don't have to investigate at night. I always say, tell me what time this happens or when you have things happen, and that's when we'll be here. So if it's 2 p.m, I'm coming at 2 p.m.
Right.
Why would I come at 3 a.m?
Because I've got probably some of my best EVPs were in the daytime. You think everything happens at night? Well, they had a life like us. They did stuff all day long too,
I agree. You
can see their shadows a little better in the dark, but you can still see them in the daytime too.
Sure can. The first EVP ever was in the daytime. Then the guy was recording on the record player. He was doing a record of birds, and that's where he got an EVP. So that happened in the middle of the afternoon with birds chirping. So and then there's somebody on your record, and nobody was there. So it happens all the time. So Devin, can you read that on your side too?
Yeah.
This is cool. I like this new studio.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. So I said you got to treat them just like they're your friends.
Right.
Yes, they are there day and night. That's what I mean. They had a life just like us.
Yep, they sure do. So that's why, I say, what are you going to do? When are you going to do? I'm like, whenever you have activity is when we're going to have activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't hear people say, well, this building only makes noise at night. No, it does it all the time.
Right.
It does it all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Even, and I understand the night from that aspect. It's less noisy as a society. Yeah,
right.
I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. But spirits happen all the time, and I think that's where that's the biggest thing that we learned during COVID was that spirits talk all the time because we're living a more quiet life than we had. A lot of us aren't running around. You're not going to football practices. You're not running to ballet, to yoga, to dinner, to, the movies. You're at home. And the spirits at home are coming to you and you're hearing them. And that's why I've gotten a lot more people wanting to take classes and stuff because they're all hearing spirits again. They're all really realizing that they're always with them. And so that's what I say is a good thing.
Because they've probably been trying to talk to them all along, but they're so busy they're not paying attention and they're tuning them out.
Yes,
because I know they talk to me all day and night. That it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So they said the same thing. Yeah. Because I understand that. That's that's okay to be that, but it's not. But that doesn't mean that you're going to investigate any different. That means you're not going. Some people think that 3 o'clock is the witching hour. Huh? Where did that come from?
TV.
Yeah, TV. Yeah. From Ryan Buell.
3 o'clock is when I'm starting to get tired. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm in bed by then. Sorry.
Oh.
If you're a ghost and you come out only at 3 o'clock, I'm not talking to you. Good night.
We have investigations that last till 4, and at 3 o'clock, I'm going. Got to go back to my hotel. Sorry, I can't do it.
As a psychic medium, I try to wrap up the whole night by 2. All right, I'm done. Good night.
Well, I mean, how much more are you going to get in a couple more hours? You know, and you're getting tired, so you're not really paying attention the way you should. Right. When you're tired, just go home. Because now you're not on top of your game. Something could happen to you.
True. Very true.
You know,
unless something's really happening and the place is jumping, then I'm jumping and away we go. But a lot of times it quiets down. A lot of spirits will come to you right away and you'll get a lot of activity and it'll ramp up. Well, it always starts out real slow because they don't know who the hell you are. They're going to check you out too. And then as the night progresses, once they realize, and then they give you all the information, and then it's like, back down. So I can't get used to the screens. So that's a little different for me.
Do you think that when we die that we actually become more of an empath? I think like the spirits can feel things about you. Right.
I agree. And I think I think it all comes from love, because we all become one again, like we always are. And the more we understand that, the more they know how you're feeling. They understand.
Yeah, they do. That's what I tell people. Watch what you're doing.
And they want to help. They want you to understand that. They want you to, because they know how you feel. So you shouldn't be feeling that way, because that's not the right feeling you should have. So, I tend to do that a lot. Tell people that's not what they want you to feel. That's why they're telling you stop. That's why they show up all the time.
If you're not in the right mood that night, don't go investigating. They can feel. They can feel that.
Yep, they can feel you too.
Yeah, if you're in a grouchy mood or something, well, nobody talked to me all night. Well, they avoided you because they could feel that.
Right. And if you're angry, or if you don't believe, there's a lot of things that spirits won't come to you. Because why? Because if you're not believing and you're just poo-pooing it all night, why would they even spend the time? Because the energy and stuff they have to do to come see you, it is a lot.
Yeah.
So they're expending a lot of energy or finding a lot of energy to talk with you, and you don't even believe. So why would they come to you?
And when I'm done talking to them, I always say, thank you for talking to me.
I do too.
Because you don't know if you heard something on the recorder or not. Maybe they were yelling and it still never came over the recorder. But I say, well, thank you, at least if you tried. And I'm the last time when I was at Fairfield Infirmary, we were talking to this lady, and we knew she was there, but I wasn't sure I was catching anything on the recorder or not. So I'm playing it back, and there was nothing there except us talking. But then when I said, thank you for talking to us, and thank you if you tried, and then the other 2 people said thank you also, and then I heard her say, you're welcome. So I didn't hear anything else. So maybe she was talking to us. I just wasn't getting it on the recorder. But she said, clear as day, you're welcome.
You know what? The greatest thing for me is getting the words ahead of time and then getting it on the recorder at the same time. It's like,
yeah, people go, why do you need a recorder if you can hear them? I said, so that I can.
And I always say, because you can't. I can't. Yeah, but you can't. That's why I want to record it.
And then that tells me that I was right, that I was hearing them too. No validation for myself too.
Yep. I mean, Devin says this.
Right. I like to have my own certain group of people I investigate with, because the energy is everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, because you and I are out at a lot of events and we do a lot of stuff. There are certain groups I love to investigate, like with the group that I'm here doing the shows on, Shadow Hunters. I do it with Tim Miley's group. There are certain groups all over the place that I love working with, and there's others. Sorry.
Yeah, because your energy meshes, and then there's other people. All your energies are going different ways, and it just doesn't feel good all night.
Yep, like Jay Lynch's team, and I love working with them. And Jason Arthur and all those guys. I mean, great people, and you can get more evidence, and because the spirits like you, and you're doing the right things together, and you're gelling, and you're having a good time. So it just works out best for all of us.
And a lot of times you can be sitting there having a conversation, and they'll just join into your conversation and talk with you. I like that.
I always say
just asking questions,
Yeah, I had the funniest one was when I was with Joe Kudo, and Joe and I were investigating this theater, and they had these posters on the wall of REO Speedwagon, and we were teasing one of the investigators because he really liked REO Speedwagon.
How could you not like REO?
I like REO Speedwagon, but not as much as he likes. Not as much as he likes REO Speedwagon. So we were teasing, we were laughing, and I had my recorder running, and we had it in my hand as we're going up the elevator to start investigating. We always keep it running, because you always keep it running.
Yes.
And we're talking about REO Speedwagon, and we got an EVP in the elevator when we're teasing about REO Speedwagon. The spirit goes, "Scotty!" Like, come on, stop talking about REO Speedwagon. You're supposed to be here talking about us. It's funny. It's like, stop the REO Speedwagon talk. I thought that was so cute. I gotta dig that up sometime to play that. I think.
Yeah, I do that. Now we were just finishing up an investigation one time, and we're sitting around in the kitchen talking, and we saw that somebody's K2 the lights were blinking, and they go, "Oh, is that by somebody's phone?" No, nobody's phone's there. So I put my K2 out, it's blinking. I was like, "Oh, something's here." So I turned my recorder on. Something's happening. But we just kept talking and everything, and I went home and I'm listening to my recorder, and a little boy had come up to the counter when we were talking, and we're all laughing and joking, and he's going, "Party, party!" It was so cute.
You guys were having a party, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it was so cute. How they just join into your conversation.
Yeah, and that's why I always say to everybody, we all talk in our normal voices, but I always don't want people to be so. There's a point of being serious, and then there's a point not to be. Right. People are too serious during an investigation. That doesn't work either, because unless it's a lower vibrational energy that wants to be in that negative forms, but most of the spirits there are happy, want to be, joke around, still are happy that we're happy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the bad thing I'm going to tell everybody: yes, ghosts can see you going to the bathroom or having sex. They just can't. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's a question I get asked all the time.
They're everywhere. Yeah, they can see everything. Yeah,
but they don't care. They don't want to, but they can't. Because you see it once, well, I don't need to see that.
They go, "Why do I want to see that? I've done it myself."
That's it. That's after you've been married with somebody for 30 years. Like, okay, I already know what it looks like. Move on. And I'm not talking about you, Terry. I'm just saying. Because otherwise I'll get in trouble. But yeah, that's the thing. Too often everybody wants to investigate like TV, and that's not the way to do it.
And they're wondering why am I not getting all these photos and these voices? Well, how many hours did they put in for that TV show? For that little bit that they're showing you, it could be 3 days.
Right, it could be
a week. Could be a week.
They investigate those places a long time.
Yeah, it didn't just happen in 45 minutes. No.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way.
No.
Sometimes nothing happens.
But that's where I want. Right, I agree. But that's where I want to bring psychic mediums in, because we can get a little bit better connection a little quicker.
Right.
Because not always, even the spirits are talking to me. Not always do we get it on the recorders.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I still hear things, and they still can validate what I'm getting. With the site and the location.
Well, and when you can point out a spirit there, then somebody knows what kind of questions to start asking.
Correct. I'm usually the first one to go into the house because I want to be able to set up the recorders and the cameras and stuff, because I know where things are happening that night. Mm-hmm. That's funny. I always do with Keith Age. He calls me up and goes, "All right, tell me where I am." I'm like, "All right, you're at this place." And then he goes, "Where's the ghost at?" I said, "In this back room back here." He goes, "Okay, thank you," and he hangs up. What a dude! He's so funny that way. But yeah, but he's proving to the people that are investigating that's why real psychic mediums can help, because he says, Scotty's in Wisconsin and we're someplace in Kentucky, and he never knew where I was tonight, and we call him and all of a sudden he knows where we are and he knows where the activity is. How does he do that? Well, he connects in with me, and then he connects in with the site.
Right.
You're right, Keith. That's how we do it. That's how you do it too. I understand that. Yeah. And that's what people don't understand. But that's where my concept of us being one with God and everybody else comes in, because that's how we tap in. It's really, if you don't want to, I always say it's like a hand. If you see the hand, let me put it over here. We all think we're individuals, but as you can see, we're all attached.
Yes.
We don't see spirit down here, because normally we're looking at life like this. But when you open the whole thing and you see the hand, you can see that we're all attached. Very similar to the internet. You have the internet, you get all this information from everybody. I can get to your site, I can get to mine, I can get to everybody's site. We can talk to each other, we can chat, we send pictures. So it's really just like the internet, but that's how we connect with spirit. And if you don't believe we are one with each other, how does that work? It doesn't work.
No. It's impossible. Yeah, it does work that way. Yeah.
So just reading the chat room stuff.
So yeah.
So in all this with the ghosts, I want to get into UFOs for a little bit. How did you spring from one to the other?
When was that? Probably about 8 years ago. I'm just driving down the street here in Michigan, and I look up in the sky, and this cloud just opens up, and this disc-shaped craft came out. It's just hovering there. I'm going, what the heck? Middle of the afternoon. And I go, what the heck? And it's just hovering there, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Just couldn't take my eyes off of it. And I'm thinking, does anybody else see this? And it's not making any noise. It's not moving. It's just sitting there. But I'm staring at it. And finally, it just went back into the clouds. The clouds closed up. Everything was gone, but I kind of lost 20 minutes somewhere. And then I said, okay, nobody's going to believe me. This is crazy. Well, then I found out that we have a MUFON chapter in Michigan. And actually, one of my friends is the director, and he lives in the next town by me. So I'll come to a meeting, and I started getting hooked there, going to the meetings. Yeah. Because we just don't have speakers about UFOs. About cryptids, all kinds of different strange things that we have different speakers. That's what I like. We're not just talking about aliens in this.
Right.
Yeah. We do Bigfoot and, Mothman. We do all kinds of things.
I saw a UFO like this. So it was this shape. And what was cool about it is that it had lights here, 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 and here, and they would flash back and forth.
Wow.
And we live close to an airport, but I was like, how can a shape like this fly?
Oh.
But it did. And trust me, and this is going to sound weird, but I was very skeptical about aliens for quite a while. I mean, it must have been my Catholic bring up, and even I always tell everybody I'm a recovering Catholic now.
I'm a Catholic too. I know.
Yeah. So we've recovered, but I met Ben Hansen, and I had Ben on my show, and we've talked a lot about that, and we talked about his father. We talked a lot, and he brought people on that were Men in Black and stuff. So we had some very cool shows with Ben talking about UFOs. And then I talked to Mike Ricksecker. I've talked to all these other guys about this, and I'm starting. I believe now. I mean, I'm totally different too. So that's why I wanted to know, was yours very similar to mine? And it was, because I didn't believe it first. Did you believe it first? That
I couldn't believe I was seeing that.
Right.
I mean, I always kind of thought there was something, because I used to read the back of my father's popular mechanics book. There was always stuff in there about UFOs in the back of those magazines, and I used to read those. When I was high school, I was reading this stuff, but I didn't think a lot of it. And then I saw that and go, oh wow, what was that? But nobody saw it except me. Am I the only one supposed to see that? Why was I the only one?
Right.
Where'd my 20 minutes go? What happened?
Right. I don't remember the time thing, so maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But
yeah.
I just saw this thing flying, and now, but see, my biggest fear in UFOs is the fact, even though I love Star Trek, my son's middle name is Christian Picard, so I'm very big into Star Trek, Star Wars, love The Mandalorian, love it all. But I can't, even with Mandalorian stuff, they go into warp speed, but they're going in a straight line. It takes time to go there, even at speed of light, right? And that's the same thing as Star Trek. And if you're flying in this direction, you couldn't get places because you'd be too old by the time you got there. We would age 30 years by the time we got to Mars. You know what I mean? It's just weird that way. But that's when I started talking with all these people in it, and they all started talking about having time bend, and when that came in, I went, now I understand.
I think they're going through wormholes. Wormholes are open. Yes.
And what's funny about the wormhole theory, because I know somebody else that believes that, but they also believe that's how us as psychic mediums, that's how we get our information. Because the wormholes open up between dimensions, or between here in heaven, or wherever you want to call it.
Well, that's a good one. Okay.
And the messages go through, and then
I never thought of that.
I didn't either, but when he said it to me, I was like, that
makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes great sense.
Yeah, and then another morning it was probably back in the springtime. I'm driving down 8 Mile going to work. I'm heading east. Yes, 8 Mile. I wasn't working on 8 Mile, but and I looked up in the sky and I saw this rod shape, but it was vertical, not horizontal like yours.
Yeah.
But it was like a glowing light, and I said, "Oh, it must be the sun coming through." And I said, "No, it's not the sun. It's just like a bar of light." And I'm watching it, and all of a sudden it started rotating like the hands on a clock. And it stopped at 3 o'clock. And I'm going, and now today, usually when I like to take 8 Mile, because if you get the green light, you go all the way through without stopping. And I was hoping for a red light, and I couldn't get a red light so I could stop and get a good picture. I got like a blurry one. And all of a sudden, over on the left side of the road, I saw another one appear in the sky. I said, what the heck? And then that one split into 2.
Wow.
And the one started rotating, and I'm going, what the heck? And then a couple minutes later, the 2 went back together, and then all 3 of them just turned off. They didn't zoom away or anything. The light just turned off. I don't know what that was. That was crazy.
Yeah. But what's been kind of neat about this is that the more that I get into this and start talking about this, I really realize that there is a connection between spirit, UFOs, and the rest.
Sure.
Psychic mediums. I really believe that, because I believe that we could have reincarnated from other planets. Mm-hmm. Some people call them star seeds now, but I believe that we have chances to do it, and that the Earth, the reason most people want to come to Earth is because it's the most diverse. There's the most things to do here. There's ups and downs and other things, where other planets could be the same energies, or mm-hmm. lower, higher energies, that type of stuff, where the Earth really gives you a chance to experience and create. And that's why people love it. So that's we're starting to find that a lot. And we're talking at our Psychics Unite meetings on Mondays. We're talking about starseeds. We're talking about that too. And the more we talk about it, and the more people's experiences, you see that there is a major connection between us all.
Well, and when we're talking to spirits, who are we talking to? Are we actually talking to people, or is it something from another dimension, another place? We don't know who we're really talking to.
Yep. And I'm trying to remember, because I was watching TV today, and I was watching it between the Badger game and on Wisconsin. Badgers win. Yay. And have to shout out. But I was watching and I watched something about, I don't even remember what it was, but the only thing that I caught out of it was that this one person believes that Jesus was an alien.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Have you heard that too? I never heard that before, so that was the first thing. And then we're starting to talk about it tonight. I'm like, okay, now I know why I heard it.
yeah, I've heard that.
It sure could have been.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because they were talking about how many aliens have come to Earth to help us grow, and help us get past things. And I thought, when you look at it, I always say we were in the dark ages in the 50s, and all of a sudden by the 60s we had the internet.
Right. And where'd we learn this? Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. And how many civilizations? Because I've been doing this when I'm researching for my 2 books I've been writing. All these people so far away from the rest of each other, and they'll have drawings on the mountains and stuff, and it's pictures of some kind of creatures, and they all look the same.
Right.
And they all, some of them look like they're aliens, but they don't get to talk to each other, and they talk about the people that came from the sky. This was long, long time ago.
Right. And
they're all making up these stories,
You see them in Christian paintings and stuff. They have that little disc up there. It's like you see them everywhere from the past.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the concept of what flying was. So that's why they might have called them angels, because there could be aliens that came down and floated down, and the only person they thought of that had wings and angels, when they could have jetpacks or anything that would bring them down. You know what I mean?
Right. And there was a glowing light around them, and it could be,
Yeah, for us to think that we're the only people that have ever been in this universe is very close-minded.
Don't believe that, no.
Yeah. Golden chariots came down to get them, yes.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it was like, so that's funny that you had the same experiences as me. Because at first, I want to tell you, with my past, I didn't believe, but that's the thing with me. I'm always willing to learn new things, and if I always say that as a medium, that's what I call myself now. But if I get my messages some other way, maybe telepathically, maybe I can see between realms or whatever I do, and it's defined that way in the future, I'll change to that, and that's the way I am. But for right now, this is what I believe, and things do change as time goes on. We do more. And for me to say that this is the only way the rest of my life doesn't allow me to grow.
Right. And do you ever think, people say when you're talking to a spirit, if one voice is louder than the other one, that's because one is stronger than the other. Well, I believe that we're talking, when we die, we go like to different dimensions. Who knows where heaven is? Is heaven up, or is it just another dimension next to us? And I think maybe the person that's louder is in a dimension closer to us and the other one's farther away. I don't think that one has more energy. No. I think there's just so many dimensions that we're interacting with, walking through sometimes. I
agree. And I think, and one of the theories I heard is that they're all happening right next to each other.
Right. That's how I feel. Yeah.
And so the one way down the line over here, it could be very different than the one right next to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're looking at them, and then they're see-through. And I ask dumb questions to the spirits. I say, you look see-through to me. Do I look see-through to you? Maybe they're on the other dimension looking at us, and they're solid, and we're the ones that looks like the ghost. We don't know this.
I've asked that before too.
Yeah, they don't answer us, do they? I guess they can't tell us.
I always get the thing that you look the same as us. So if we see them that way, so I believe
that's what I was told, and I said, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So if we look like them and we see them lighter, like I do,
right.
they see us lighter.
Yeah, because they're just in a different dimension. They're not in that room with us. It's a different dimension.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always got the wormholes for us to get our information between the two. That's why I thought that was quite interesting to hear.
It is,
yeah. Theory. I don't know if it'll ever get proved. I always talk about string theory, and I know very, very little about it. But from what I heard about it, it should help us figure out that everything that's happened, and it's all connected.
I think it is, yeah.
And but that's what I believe. I believe we're all connected. I believe that things happen for reasons. I believe that we're here. Hi, Alma. Welcome to the show. Hi, Jenny. Hi, everyone that's watching tonight. But so the more we're connected, the more we talk to each other, the more we communicate to each other, the more we can help each other grow. So is your new book out? Let's talk about the books. Let's get everyone to buy your books.
Well, the book that I put out last year, it's called Dimensions. It's about mysterious triangles of the U.S. Everybody knows about the Bermuda Triangle, but I actually picked 10 of them that are actually in the continental United States and talked about those.
The continental ones, because I heard of one in Alaska.
Yeah, I got the Alaska Triangle. There's the Lake Michigan Triangle. There's one in Illinois. It's called Little Egypt. It's the tip of Illinois. There's the Bennington Triangle, the Bridgewater, because where the Mothman was one of these things,
Right. So where's the one in the Great Lakes?
It's on Lake Michigan.
Close to home.
Yeah, I think there's one up by Superior too, but there's Lake Michigan, yeah. A lot of, and I didn't realize when I was writing the book, I just knew there were all kind of strange things in the triangles, and I found out everyone again was connected, and there's all UFOs in every one of them. Every one of them. So how many? That's the thing. So how many UFOs or spirits have been here to help guide this entire universe? You know what I mean? And I think that's something that we're going to learn. That's something that we're going to move forward. But I think that it's all based on spirit anyway, because I think their energies and their souls from their worlds are the same as ours. And I don't believe we all go someplace different. That's the thing. I don't either. Yeah. And I think that they come here sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes they come here to warn us that we're doing something wrong. Right. Right. Because they had something bad happen on their planet or something, and they're trying to warn us, so we don't do it. Right. Because I look at different planets as states, even though they're all similar. Every state is a little different. And that's the same thing I think of worlds. It's the same thing. We're all the same spirit. We just got it. We all have different fleshies. Yeah, because we're just energy. Everything's energy. So everything is. We're just a different form of. Yeah, I agree, because that's how reincarnation happens. That's how we go, because energy can't be created or destroyed, and that's the same through all the universe. It can be formed into something different. It can change, but that's where we can take different shapes, different forms, or we can come back to Earth again. And a lot of us come back to Earth a lot. So I think I have. I have too. Yeah, so my new book I'm working on. How about that? It's called Earth Energies. It's about ley lines. Okay. It could be about ley lines. That's quite interesting too. Which is very funny, because we were talking about that Monday night. It seems like everything you're talking about, we talk about at Psychics Unite too. I knew that. But yeah, I'm finding ley lines just so fantastic. It's just fascinating stuff. Yeah, it's funny, because I think that's Nick from Shadow Hunters here tonight, and he puts that I'm not coming back. I haven't. And then Jen says, "Yep, I was just going to say that too." But see, what's funny about that is a couple of years ago I said the same thing, but then I realized, no, I'm not. I mean, as a spiritual leader, as a teacher, as someone in this field, I don't think this is the end, and I know it's not the end, because otherwise we wouldn't be in this field doing this work now.
You know what I mean?
Right. And all the knowledge that you have now, why would you not come back to try to help somebody again in the next life? Why would you not do that? Do you notice that you're the same kind of person in all your past lives? Sort of?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I tell everybody that I definitely was female more in all my lives, and I understand that. And I know this is one of the only ones I was male. I was only male like 3 lives, and this is one of 3. And that's okay. I don't want to do it again. I'm going to come back female again. But
I know one where I was a male, but the other I was female.
Yeah. Mostly for me, it was the other way around, mostly female. But I understand that energy, but I still have that energy. You know me well enough. I feel very similar to that, and and it's just that female energy that I have, and that's okay. I came back this time to try the male side, and maybe I won't come back as a guy. I'll come back as a girl next time.
You want to know what my male one was? It was terrible. I had a job, and we got a new district manager, and that man did not like me the very first time he met me. And it was weird, how everybody has energy you can feel around him. And I didn't feel any energy around him. There was like nothing. I never felt anything like that before. There was just nothing around him. And then one day he was yelling at me about something, and I saw his face change, and he became a Roman gladiator. And then I saw that I was in the ring fighting with him.
Oh, that's good. That's why you guys didn't like each other.
And I killed him. That was the freakiest thing.
Like Jen and Devin in the room, both of them, 3 of us know that we were all related, that we were sisters in the previous life. Terry and I have known that Terry and I have been married in previous lives. My spirit guide, Steve, and I, he was my husband in a previous life. He's now here in this life helping me because he loved me so much. And even though I'm a pain in the ass this time, he's still there helping me. He always teases me about that. I'm a pain in the ass, but it's all the spirits that keep coming back,
Yeah. And you notice that, like your really close friends or stuff, those were people that you had in a past life with you.
Right. And that's what's kind of neat. And that's the reason why, Devin says, yeah, Cheryl, that's awesome with the gladiator.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, then we'll all be sisters again.
Yeah.
But
no more gladiators for me. Seriously.
What's kind of neat though is when you think about it, and that's why I started thinking about it, I'm coming back again, because this time I felt so connected with so many people. You know what I mean? I think more than I've ever felt before.
Me too.
And other people feel the same way. I know you and I did when we first met each other. And it's just so weird because how do I know this many people? Well, it's because I've been here this many times, working with the same people that are trying to help enlighten the world and trying to help enlighten each other and live better lives. And the more we do that, the more that each life is going to be better because more people are going to keep coming into it. So I find that very exciting. Yeah. I find that very exciting. It's very neat to work with people that you felt like that. And then there's always new people every week that come up to you. Man, were we together before? Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's like somebody we have like a on and off friendship thing, and I say, well, I just have this special connection with him, and I can't explain what it is, and that's what it was. Past life. It's got to be,
right.
And
that's the other thing. The other question I get a lot though is that person my soulmate? Yeah. But your soulmate doesn't always have to be, or your twin flame always doesn't have to be your twin flame in every life. They're your twin flame. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be together this life. They're here for a different reason this time. Sometimes Terry and I come back together, but it's not because, we get married. It's because of other reasons. We have other lives together. But, we've been married 4 times. So, but that's the other thing is people come in our lives that we know really well, and then they burn out very fast.
I've seen that, yeah. Yeah.
I've had some friends that have been very strong with me, and taught me a ton, and I respect them for it. But we've had falling outs in the way we move on, because each one of us is playing a different role in our lives this time.
Yeah. Sometimes they come in so fast and then they leave so fast, and you go, "What happened there?"
Right.
But yeah, there was a purpose for that. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So we have to accept that, and we have to understand that, And the more we do it, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the more that happens, then you realize, okay, they came in to be my friend. They came in to teach me a lesson, or came in to tell me something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't always mean that that it's. But see, the thing is, that's the other thing is people think that that's all bad.
No,
it's not. It's for us to learn, and that's why even messages from spirit and stuff. Every situation in our life is for us to learn. It's for us to grow. There's a lesson in everything, even in death, even in in pain and surgeries and evil and whatever you want to call it. There's always lessons. So I always say, what are we learning from that lesson? What did we learn? What did I have to change in my life because of this? That makes sense?
Yeah. Or why did I have to meet this bad person in my life? What did I learn from this? And you did. You learned this and this and this.
Yep, you learned it, and that's the big thing. Yeah. So do you do readings? Is that what you're doing yet?
No, not too much. But if I have a message for somebody, I'll let them know. But I don't actually do readings per se.
This is okay.
Yeah, mostly I just like working on missing person cases. I like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's tough work. I'm writing a book about a case that I helped with a lady, with the mom of the son that passed. So we're writing a book about his journeys and what he saw when he crossed, and how what happened when he died, and what he's dealing with now. And so we talk every week, and we're writing this book on it. So
that's nice. That's nice. Yeah.
So that his name is Shawnee. He's the spirit, and
that's nice. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really kind of neat, But just like in everything, we always psychic mediums are never 100%. And if anyone ever tells you they're 100%, run, because
I tell people, yeah.
If you can be 80 to 95%, good. If you're 50, you're guessing.
Yeah, but if somebody they're 100%, okay, no, they're just gonna feed you some more information. No, I don't do it. If I don't get a message from somebody that you want to talk to, I'll say they're not coming through. Right. I'm not going to start making something up. I'm not going to start asking you questions so that I can give it right back whatever you said to me. I'll just say that person's not talking to me, because every spirit doesn't come to us to talk to us. My great-grandmother talks to me every day, but I've never talked to my great-grandfather, and I wish I could, but he just doesn't come through.
Right.
Just doesn't. You can't dial the phone and go, hey, come on over. It doesn't happen.
True, you don't. But I know that my grandfather, I talked to every other one, all my family up and down, but my grandpa Stingo, I've only seen him like twice in dreams, not even in my house. I've only seen him in dreams. And it's because he's doing something else. He's doing something else in his life. He's doing, and I'll catch him when I get up there, but he's not coming through.
Or maybe he's doing a new life now and he's back on Earth doing something else, so he can't be talking.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's a big thing too. Everyone says, well, how come this person came in? Because I said, like I've had a lot of people that have had like babies that died and wanted to know, and I said, well, I don't feel them, so that must mean that it came back. Because people come back, people want to do that, and you can't have that connection anymore because they're not there.
Yeah. And it's a weird thing, like my grandma had a baby that only lived a couple hours. Okay. So when I go back to Illinois, I put flowers on all the graves. And one time I'm putting flowers on the grave, and I hear a little boy saying, I'd like a train. And I turn around, and there's nobody in the cemetery with me. And I go, who said that? Me, Joseph. And it was him.
Wow.
Now, he only lived a couple hours, and he wants a train. How do you know what a train was? And I said, okay. I says, how old are you? I'm 4. I'm a big boy. And he was talking to me.
That's so cool.
So every time I go back to Illinois, I make sure I find some kind of little train to put on his grave.
That's neat. Where in Illinois?
It's LaSalle.
Okay.
And it's weird. So like he got older when he went to the other side, because he only lived a couple hours.
Yeah, but he must have been the soul from before, and he only came here.
Could be, yeah.
And he came back.
That was crazy. I'd like really a train.
So is that the LaSalle by Peru?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have friends that live in LaSalle.
Okay, that's where I grew up. Yeah.
He's a banker there.
Okay.
We call him the banker. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But when we get those experiences, or when we can meet those spirits, or we know that they've crossed, and then you can feel better because people think, oh, they're stuck, and they're, that's the same thing they always talk about suicide. You don't die, you don't get stuck on the other side. You're not blocked from crossing over if you commit suicide.
No,
that's not the case. So we all have the rights. We all have the road to reformation is never closed, ever. We always have the right to move on. But we choose it. That's the thing,
Yes, we do. We're the ones that choose.
And
spirits aren't stuck. Spirits aren't stuck. If they're here, it's because they want to be here.
Right. Most of them have unwanted crap they have to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or they have jealousies or a lot of earth crap that they can't, because they were given the chance to go.
Right. Or there's some that they just want to tell you how they died. Maybe somebody killed them or something. Right. And they just want to tell somebody so that they can go. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times that has happened, that a spirit told me their story and then they left. But how many years were they hanging around before somebody actually asked them what was going on?
Yeah. I know. It's just like your person in Bobby Mackey's.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But there's reasons why they wanted there. And that's why we said earlier the show is because that's why we have to help them in the paranormal, the spiritual side, is because are they helping us? Are we helping them? Or are we helping the building? Who are we helping? Why is that person there? And how can because not every spirit has to go. That's right. The other thing. I had one lady once that said, "Oh, I have a demon in my house," and we did like a Skype thing, and she walked me around the house, and I said, "Okay, so what did you want me to do with this demon?" She goes, "I want you to get rid of it." I said, "Okay, so you want me to get rid of your dad, and you didn't like your dad that much that you call him a demon?" She goes, "What?" And she started crying. Said, "That's your dad by your desk." She goes, "That's where he always shows up." I go, "Yeah, he's watching you do your work." So, but that's it. And I've had that multiple times. Yeah. I had another one where a guy couldn't sleep in his house because he woke up and he was choking and he saw a spirit above him, and he saw the spirit above him and he thought the spirit was choking him. Well, he was choking in real life and the spirit was trying to wake him up.
See?
And it was his dad too.
See? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of reasons they're there, but we all jump to the conclusion that people are trying to hurt us and stuff because we watch TV. We watch movies.
Yeah. I helped some friends when they go to do a residential sometime, and I'll remote view. They'll come live and I'll remote view over to the place for them. And there was a guy, I don't remember if the daughter moved in with the father or the father moved in with her, but in his bedroom, they kept seeing like a shadow figure, something hanging around his bed. Something was hanging around in his bedroom. And they just, right away, something bad is in there. And so I said, no. So then I got this software program like the police use with composite drawings. And I drew a picture of this guy that I saw. And so I sent it to my friends and I said, well, this is who I see. I go, does this mean anything to anybody? And my friend goes, interesting. I'll give it to the lady. So then he sends me a photograph back of 2 guys in the Army. And one of them was my guy. And I said, who's that? And he says, Well, the one on the left is her father, but the one on the right is his really good army buddy, but he got killed.
Mm.
The guy didn't know he was dead. And he had found his old army buddy, and he was hanging around.
Wow.
See, but it wasn't something evil. And I says, aren't you glad I helped you? Because you would have never figured out who the spirit was, because I don't think he was going to talk to you.
Right.
Because he wasn't talking. And I said, he doesn't know he's dead. I says, no, be careful how you talk to him, but don't tell me he's dead like this, So they're both ex-military, and they go, oh, we know how to talk to him. I said, okay, sit down, have a talk with the spirit, tell him that, it's okay to move on and all this. And so they did, and he left. But see, again, you don't know who's there. It wasn't anything bad. He was just scared, holding on to a friend.
And that's cool. I mean, that's happened a lot of times where ex-military can get together now and they can see each other again and talk to each other and just be good with each other again. And so that's so amazing. I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's why we're in this, and that's why we're doing all this, is because we're here to help, and there's unresolved stuff between people.
Yeah.
And we're not doing the devil's work. We're actually here to help people. We're here to make it better for them, so you can live your life better.
Right, because you think the devil's helping us do these good things? No.
People think that. People think that.
I've been told that.
Yeah, people think that because we're still doing good, we're being deceived into doing good or helping. I was at a MUFON meeting one time, and anybody can come in. They pay their little money, and they come in. We'd have a luncheon before the meeting, and all this. And ooh, I want to come now.
we haven't done that all year because of what's going on here. But yeah, and so this guy came in, and I'm sitting at the table where we're selling T-shirts and stuff, and I had my books there. And the guy picks up my book, Whispers Beyond the Grave, and he picks it up and he goes, "What's this?" And I told him about my experiences with spirit. He dropped that book like it was on fire, and he says, "You know who you're talking to?" And I said, "Spirits." He goes, "You're talking to the devil." and you know how the room gets really quiet at the wrong time. That's all you could hear was his voice. And I'm going, "Oh no!" But everybody just started laughing.
Right.
But that's what he did. I go, "Oh boy."
I know, it's so weird. I was at a show where I was at a show with Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, and I was the most exciting show ever, because I was here and Ernie's booth was like right where you are, so we're that close. and a guy came running up to me and goes, "Do you believe in God?" And I was like, "Okay, here it comes."
Yeah.
Down the whole thing, and it's just like, but Terry let him have it. Terry's great at that. She stays so calm, but she just lets people have it. It's just like, it's so amazing. It's just funny. It's just it's like why do we have to believe that? Why do we have to understand it? Because there's never been proof of that. You know what I mean? There are people that do it for the wrong reasons. You and I, they're out there and they're charlatans, and they're trying to do it for all this money, and instead of just doing it, for the right reasons.
Yeah.
But it's not the devil.
Yeah, because he goes, "It says in the Bible." I said, "Really?" I go, "It doesn't say that in my Bible. Just where were you reading this?"
Right.
"You have a Bible?" "Yes, I do." I go,
We can get into it sometime, but
yeah,
But the real belief is back then, if you look at all the civilizations before Rome in that time, it was all based on an oracle or a medium,
right,
a spiritual leader, and a warrior, and the king. That's who all ran almost all society before that, because they all believed in it. And up until that time, they even believed in multiple gods. And it wasn't until the changing of that where there's one, and then it had to be the powerful one, because then they can only be strong, because they anyone with knowledge is bad to religion. And the people so we'll tell you what to believe. You just do what we say.
And that's why they took some books out of the Bible too.
Oh yeah, plenty.
The early books, they took them out.
I mean, you look at the Old Testament. That's some wrath. That's some wrath of God there. That's some crazy stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, we could.
Not that I want to. Oh, look at the timer. I didn't even look. It's already over. Well, Cheryl, why don't you give everybody where they can get a hold of you, talk to you, chat with you, buy your books?
I'm on Facebook, just Cheryl Lynn Carter. I'm also on Instagram. And you can get my books on Amazon.com. If you want a signed copy, you can just message me on Facebook, and I can mail you a signed copy.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah.
So cool. And as always, I want everybody to continue to support Shadow Hunters here. This is the page that we're on now. Shadow Hunters is here, so feel free to. We got a YouTube page, we got Facebook pages, so come on there and like us and watch all our videos. And then watch us all over at Psychics Unite too. We have a new website coming up. We have a website too that we're looking to get more people to log into. So subscribe to our website at Psychics Unite. Join us too. As you can see along the bottom of the screen, we have different shows here every night of the week. So come watch one of those shows at Shadow Hunters on Monday nights. Come find us at Psychics Unite because we all go to the Psychics Unite Zoom meeting. It's free. Come join us. If you go to our website, you can see a sample of some of our meetings. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Shadow Hunters, for here. And, of course, Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight. And everybody, hopefully you like the new studio, the new looks. It was fun. It was actually cool to do, and it was a little different for me, but we'll get used to it. So we'll see you guys all next week. Love you all. Happy New Year's, everybody.